Hey guys, it's me, Mona with IndaCloud. I'm here again with Adam Rawkinberry, aka Houston Rawket.
What's up?
And I just wanted to go ahead and ask him a few questions as it relates to some legislation changes and things that are going on. We've been working with Rocket to clear the air on what's been going on in Texas. We're just here to share some information. Are you ready to get into it, Rocket?
Absolutely.
Alrighty, so can you just introduce yourself and explain a little bit about what you do and how you've become Houston Rawket?
Absolutely. My name is Adam Rawkinberry or Adam Rawkinberry. Houston Rawket is a moniker personality, but it's me. It's really me. I'm just the person behind it. I started as a brand idea, turned into a whole personality, and just infused myself into that.
And how did you first discover hemp or THCA? It is the legal form of cannabis in Texas, right? So how did you stumble into that?
So, if anybody has been around cannabis for a while, they would know that THCA is the acidic form of THC before it's activated. That has been well understood for quite a while. That's not really new information. What's new is how they introduced that language into the Farm Bill in such a way that now politicians think that it's some loophole, that it's
And how did you find yourself to be when you discovered this? How did you find the benefits from it?
benefiting wise. It's been a passion, learning, sharing the information, meeting people, growing, progressing, changing. So all of that has been a part of the process for me with cannabis. It's helped me develop my identity as a person more, and it's been something that's been really detrimental in keeping my mental health, my physical health, all of those aspects in sync.
So what was your life like? What was your health journey before hemp then, if it's been such a big impact?
Not very healthy at all.
Really?
Yeah, there was no diet type of restrictions or myself. I was really kind of all over the place, no discipline. The things that I was doing were more purely recreational for the sake of fun or for the sake of killing time, I guess.
But now,
Boredom's a time for creativity. Cannabis is a big conduit for that for me. I like how it has benefited me to be better.
that's amazing to hear. That being said, have you tried other things in the past, and how has THCA made a difference compared to those things?
I'm really glad that you asked because yes, I have tried other things in the past.
Mhm.
For me, I noticed other things were not helping me. They weren't making me better. They were hindering that process. Cannabis helped me in every way. It helped me to find discipline, and cannabis has always been detrimental in helping me to understand better.
Such a positive impact in your life, being able to regain discipline in your life. How does SB3 and other bills make you feel when you hear about
Pissed off?
it? Really?
Yeah. It's such a simple thing to know that the farm bill that was signed into law is not a loophole. It's clear language. The politicians that are making these wild accusations and trying to make these bans happen are outright misinforming the public. And it's part of a tactic. We'll not get into that right now. I think there's more to be revealed a little bit later with some of that. Politicians play a role and they're fulfilling their role. I do believe that it is going to lead to cannabis being more widely available as it has been. Buddy of mine likes to say they can't put the toothpaste back in the tube once it's been squeezed out. So
It's already started. It's been a helpful thing, as you've stated for yourself and so many others. I've seen it myself. It's been a magical remedy to a lifetime of problems, trying to trauma with medication. The side effects, cannabis just really is a multiple problem solver.
that's probably the biggest aspect of it that has helped in the ways that it has because it's so multifaceted.
With laws like SB3 and HB 28 being brought up, what do you think lawmakers don't understand about patients and people like you?
I think lawmakers don't under people who don't have access to resources. You think about a politician and the people that write laws, they have an office aide and an assistant and a person that does almost every fine detail of their life. So they have a resource for everything that allows them to free think mode all the time. The problem with that is they're not thinking about the mass of people, the majority of people who don't have that type of resource. And thinking with that type of lens and that type of lens only can be dangerous for the public's sake.
That was a really good perspective to share. Have you ever had to resort to black market products to get what you needed because of your lack of resources that are available here in Texas?
Absolutely. Unfortunately, consistency with the cannabis market is still very volatile, and even major producers, I love IndaCloud the most. They sell out a lot and they're very popular. So sometimes it can be hard to even grab the brand that I love. I rely a lot on the black market because of the fact that right now the cannabis market in and of itself is not stable. People need to understand that it's not all sunshine and rainbows and butterflies. There are really people struggling. Despite all the people who might be out having lunch, having drinks, enjoying their lives and their freedoms, there are people who are trying to figure out what they might be eating that day, let alone if they can get access to to safe medicine. So these are things that I don't think politicians and lawmakers think about at all when it comes to providing resource materials or laws that help make lives easier for the sake of the majority of people who don't have the type of lives that they have. And if you think about how many politicians there are, that's a very small sector of people that live like that.
You hear that, Abbott?
Patrick.
King, the rest of you. What are your favorite brands and products to recommend? You have been such a proponent of providing resources for the communities.
So as far as on a major scale, IndaCloud is definitely one of the ones that I lean towards the most. In Texas, I want to share some brands, if that's okay, that are Texas local. There's a company called East Texas Hemp Co. He's a small town guy, but he sources products and has products formulated custom to people's needs. There's another person in Houston area. Brand company is Oil Well CBD. He actually has access to his own genetics that are high potency CBD. He also does now have his own genetics when it comes to high potency THCA, but he also sells products like companies, IndaCloud and such. So those are things that I try to tell people about all the time, because not only do they help promote a little guy like me, but they also, they share the wealth with the big companies that know what's going on and aren't dumb to the sake that people are struggling. So
those are really good picks. I've come across Oil Well CBD a few times, so I'm happy to hear a familiar name. If I had to throw one in there, definitely Hometown Hero. What do you think?
Hometown Hero is a big brand that I want to talk about, and I love their products. I haven't personally had a chance to try much of their stuff, and I would love to maybe review some of their things in the future. So that is something I'm looking at. But the biggest thing about them I want people to be aware of is that they are in Austin working to try to get this stuff more easily accessible. And that's a big part of things that needs to be more heard in Texas, with the companies that are out here representing for Texans to try to get access to these products.
No, that's awesome. I think that sounds like definitely something we'd want to get a part of. So Hometown Hero, if you're out there, get at us, IndaCloud. Let's work together.
Gilkey, I shot you a DM, hit me up.
So that being said, I heard you say that you really lean towards IndaCloud. What has your experience been like with IndaCloud?
Predominantly, it's been getting to know a family-like structured company with products that are quality sourced. The end user experience on my end has been nothing short of feeling like I've been firsthand catered to by cloud specialists, if you will.
So how important is lab testing and transparency for you?
I think those are important aspects to making sure that there's clean and quality products, but I think there's also an aspect of that kind of needs to be quality controlled. One of the things that I think is important is having third-party testing. A lot of companies will have third-party testing and in-house testing, which is great. Having a comparison to check the results against, I think is cool. Predominantly just making sure you have people who are using your product that feel comfortable referring other people to use your product. Word of mouth is always going to be the biggest form of advertising. That's one of the biggest reasons that I love and why I mess with IndaCloud, is because they get that concept as well, and they utilize networkings that are pretty much about that. So that's kind of how, I guess you would say, stumbled into each other and stumbled into IndaCloud. It was nothing short of hearing about it and talking about it and then getting involved.
Yep, it's 100% full circle. Oh, so it is actually absolutely insane that you mentioned that. I wanted to let you know and ask if you even had any idea. We did a survey recently with some of our VIP customers, yes. And our audience actually 89.82% recommend us.
Anybody that I have allowed to try my products that I get or the products that you guys send me has always commented on the fact that it smells amazing, it tastes amazing, a high. They can notice effects that give them a change that noticeable enough that they like it and they want it again.
Easily insertable into your routine. Adam, what motivates you to speak publicly about these things?
I've actually always been shy.
Oh.
I've not always been a big me talk about this type of person. I've also always been isolated from a lot of the rest of the world, so I haven't really had very many people to talk to. It wasn't until social media became a thing, but even for me, I never really didn't have people in my real life that I could add to social media or whatever. When things changed with social media to where people started utilizing it more for business, more for brand, more for gaining that type of audience, that was where I jumped in and I saw my opportunity to utilize it for what I felt would be the most beneficial to me. And now I don't have that same type of situation. I'm not as isolated because of social media. I have access to people that I didn't before. I've networked and been blessed enough to be allowed into circles that are tight and small. So I'm very thankful for that as well. And cannabis has been the conduit for all of it.
You brought a lot of amazing things together, right?
Yes.
Awesome. I'm grateful that it has spoke to you and that we had the opportunity to meet and that we're having the opportunity to get this message out to people. So thank you.
Absolutely. I'm very thankful for the opportunity to talk about this because I still don't get I don't get a lot of time to talk in this manner.
Hey, we want to know what's in your mind. This is Thought Leadership 101. That's a lot of the positives of being an advocate, but what are the tolls? What are the negative effects, if any, of being an advocate in this space? Even though we haven't spoken a lot, is it the potentiality of not being able to speak at all?
That would be what the politicians want you to think, is that your voice is going to be taken away because of a bill or a law that they pass. But we live in America, and I like to remind people, some people might not think it's the greatest nation in the world, but we got the freedom of speech that we have. There is no restrictions here on how people can talk, so you can hate it and love it as much as you want, and you can talk about it openly. And down here in Texas, we're kind of all about that. You can hate us or love us as much as you want, but be honest and be real. The other aspect about that I think Texas is going to help with the cannabis market is that part. Yeah, if you want to use cannabis, do. If you don't, fine. But mind your business. You see somebody out in public that's in a place that they're allowed to consume it, mind your business. Ain't no reason that people need to be aware of necessarily what you're doing if you're doing it in a way that's mindful. And that's another thing we're big on here in Texas is being mindful and respectful of people's space.
Do you feel supported by the cannabis community in Texas?
I'm a bit of a black sheep in a lot of realms because I stand out. I'm not the most easily understood. I take the long way around sometimes. I talk about the more complex stuff sometimes. So I haven't had a lot of support myself. That's why I'm very thankful and I feel very blessed to have been introduced to IndaCloud and the people behind it, because to have the support that I'm about to have, and I feel like it's coming predominantly from IndaCloud, just kind of makes me feel like, who the hell am I? But at the same time, get ready, I'm gonna rock with it. It's my turn. So
That sucks that you feel that way, but I honestly feel like it truly speaks to the testament of how restrictive a black market is, and the fact that you feel, and probably so many other people relate to that, alone in this is because it's not okay, quote unquote. We're hiding or we're battling having these legislative battles over something that is truly beneficial. So I understand feeling that way, and I'm sorry. That sucks.
it is what it is.
But I'm happy to be able to help.
That's the part I was gonna say. It's rough. It might be hard for some people to digest, but that's the reality. That's the real, raw reality of things. Sometimes people are struggling in a way that might be hard for you to digest, but you don't have to feel bad. You don't have to feel guilty. Do your part. If it's sharing information, if it's talking about it, if it's being a part of, if it's helping out as somebody that's down and out and you can help them, a hand up. People appreciate a hand up a lot more than a handout. People are always looking for a way to earn for themselves. That notion that people are just out here looking to take advantage is because people have found ways to survive doing that. That's another aspect that cannabis will enlighten people to. There's a lot of aspects that politicians don't want you to know when it comes to cannabis and how it helps.
Have you ever considered leaving Texas for better access?
At one point, yes, but I very quickly was humbled in the fact that I don't really have the resources to do that. So my tune pretty quickly changed to I'm gonna fight for where I'm at.
Gotta change it. If lawmakers were here right now, what would you say to them?
Abbott veto SB3. That's all I would say to him. I wouldn't really have much else to say to anybody else other than they know that that bill is not needed. It's not something that is going to help anybody. It's only going to hurt.
Yep. Please add 2 names to the petition.
I already signed my name.
And what message would you want to leave with people after watching this? What is the final thing you would say in regards to SB3?
Right now, it's still active. The Texas legislature is in session for the 89th consecutive session. They're at Austin's Capitol building currently talking about these policies that are going to affect our day-to-day lives. So I would highly recommend people to call Abbott, let him know to veto SB3. I would highly recommend signing the petition online because it's accessible via links that will be shared with both this video and my social media pages as well. All of those are things that people need to be aware of. For sure.
Is perfect. Thank you so much, Adam. Alrighty, everybody. That is our discussion a little bit about SB3 and HB 28 that's coming up. So it is an absolute battle down here in Texas. To all of our comrades out in Austin, thank you so much for everything that you're doing out there. It's just a wait until September. Thank you for tuning in. That was me, Mona, and Houston Rawket talking about some of the changes that have been going on in Texas that make us so really nervous. So stay tuned. Don't miss out, and we'll see y'all later. As soon as I wanted to start recording,
this car started farting right next to where we're seated. So disrespectful.
How disrespectful?
So disrespectful.
Dude, what were the chances?
Put a balloon over his tailpipe, and he had to know he was about to record.
That was magic.
He watched us set up the camera, started his little farty car.
And there you have it. It's okay. It's okay. And then, see, you just do what you do and how you've become Houston Rawket.
So, my name is
Hey. Thank you.
It's supposed to be the go.
Well, they saw us sit, and now we're here.
It's all good. Thank you for listening.
Do you guys need anything else right now? No.
Can we get it to go?
To go, boss?
Yes, ma'am.
I had such a good tie-in.
And waitress.
Yes. Oh, dang it. She
Thank you so
got
much.
me.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Damn good reason.
Mike, just drop it there.
I would first congratulate Mr. Patrick on his tremendous viral meme that he's become.